What is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to Super Grapple Bros. This is episode 55 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. We're two brothers who are former WWE employees that enjoy both the wrestling and the video games, so we talk about both of them. I am one of your hosts, Murpho.
And I am DMurph.
And we have got a lot to talk about this week in the world of video games and wrestling. Well, not so much in wrestling because it's a non-pay-per-view week or post-week, so we don't have a lot to talk about on that front, but we do have quite a bit to talk about in video games, and we've got a sort of wrestling-related thing to talk about. We've got going to talk about Season 2 of Glow.
Mm-hmm.
Since that came out last week. I think it was last Friday, right before we did our podcast, and
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I was able to binge watch the rest of the season. I was home last night, and I was like, I'll just watch one episode. That's how it always starts on Netflix.
Yeah. I had been watching during my breaks and stuff at work, and then I had literally 15 minutes left, and I had a free moment yesterday at home, so I was like, all right, I'll watch the last 15 minutes of this show now.
Yes. Hello to Hugo Gonsalves, who is in the chat. Let's get started. Oh. We won't go into Glow just yet. We will start off with wrestling. So wrestling this week was interesting. Mm-hmm. They're trying to build up to Extreme Rules. Raw, I don't know really much of what they're doing on Raw.
I know they're doing a feud with
well, I mean the writers. I don't know if the writers know much what they're doing.
Well, that's what I'm saying is they're doing a rivalry between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, but also Bobby Lashley, but also the Revival.
Yeah, which is weird.
Which at the same time, good job, Revival. You're getting good placement on the card, and you beat Roman Reigns a couple times. You know, they technically lost to Roman Reigns this week.
Did that? Was it a disqualification they lost by?
Yeah, they just kept beating on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which wasn't it like a? And Bobby Lashley had walked away from the match, so it's kind of like, I guess they're trying to protect Roman. It's like it's a 2-on-1 situation. You should not be beating him up so bad that you get disqualified. You should just win the match.
But they're having fun.
But then again, they are also fighting the big dog, so you know.
Yeah, and they've already got a win over him, so.
That's true. But mostly what I'm talking about with the writers and kind of like I don't know much what they're doing is one of the main stories and one of the parts, the headline of this podcast, title of this podcast, is the whole Bayley Sasha Banks situation. Like, I didn't know that you could take something that was booked so perfectly in NXT and just absolutely drag it out and like torture it to death.
Yeah,
like they're doing with Sasha Banks and Bayley.
I'm gonna put that on Vinnie Mac for not creating women's tag division for this to turn into basically the female team Hell No.
Still, as we know, last week Bayley was told that she had to go to anger management class because she beat up on somebody who is treating her like crap outside of the ring for wrestling, which happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Braun Strowman's all over the place flipping cars in the same episode.
And porta potties.
Oh, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So she gets sent to anger management, which has Dr. Shelby there, the return of good old Dr. Shelby.
Mm-hmm.
But Sasha Banks is there too. Uh-oh, they've both been subjected to anger management. It's like they were like, you know what could really work for these two to jumpstart their rivalry? And then somebody went in and said, actually have Bayley snap and have them actually fight each other with, intensity and viciousness like they did on NXT that captured the emotions and the energy of the crowd in the NXT universe.
Nah.
And they said, you're fired. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give them the Hell No treatment. But didn't we just bring back Hell No? I told you you're fired. Get out.
That's why people will love it.
Yeah.
Although, not gonna lie, I'm excited. This is probably why they did it. I am kind of excited to see what happens when Team Hell No crosses paths with him backstage at Extreme Rules.
Oh, God. It's going to be weird.
Yep.
It's going to be weird.
You're cheating on us?
I mean, that could be funny.
That's what I'm saying.
Dr. Shelby works with Kane and Daniel Bryan, not so much with Bayley and Sasha. From what I've heard about the segment, it really wasn't that great. And it was like having them do impressions of each other, and it was not good. Like,
yeah.
And even if it was good, like, it bothers me that they decided to try and take the Kane Daniel Bryan angle at the same time that they're bringing Kane back with Daniel Bryan to do Team Hell No, and just regurgitating a storyline for these two female wrestlers who are arguably the best two female wrestlers on the roster.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to drag this out even more.
Mm-hmm.
You could have just kept them as friends and allies, almost like you do with Alexa Bliss and Mickey James. Even though, like, sometimes they, even them, like, sometimes they fight. Like, there has to be some consistency. And also at the same time, like, while you're running this thing, as we were talking about, the whole Braun Strowman situation is going on, and it's like you're gonna subject Bayley and Sasha to anger management, but then Braun Strowman.
Well, maybe they won't subject them.
Do whatever he wants.
Maybe they'll stop subjecting them to anger management when Bayley, flips over Kurt Angle's car and then a production truck and stuff.
Yeah, but still, like, they don't point that out. Like, you don't bring that up. Like, and even if so, if I was Bayley and Sasha, and they were like, we don't want to go to anger management. Why do I have to go to anger management? Braun doesn't have to go to anger management. Look what he's doing. And they were like, well, he flipped a car and a production truck and tried to viciously beat up the GM. You know what I would do if I was him? I'd grab some baseball bats and tire irons and start destroying everything.
We had 5 men try to kill him with a garbage truck. It didn't work.
The truck didn't take.
God.
But that's without fail. I'm telling you, without fail, every episode this phone rings.
Yep.
Every episode.
I know.
No matter what time we try to do something, we get a phone call.
Yep. Moving on.
Anyway, what he was saying, like, what I'm saying is that the whole Braun Strowman thing, it's set a precedent.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to subject somebody to anger management like that and run this angle, don't do it. While at the same time, some big strong guy is doing much, much worse things.
Yeah.
That demands anger management. That's almost as if during the Attitude Era, you had Vince try to send, like, Steve Austin or The Rock to anger management while the Ministry of Darkness is going on.
Yeah.
It's like,
Steve,
I think there are worse things going on right now.
Steve, you've got a bunch of issues with your anger and your drinking, and we need you to go see a specialist. Vince, Taker just hung your daughter crucified above the stage last week. What are you doing?
What about him? Don't worry, I've got that handled. It's fine.
And to be fair, he kind of did in that situation.
It's true.
It was him, Austin.
Still, it's just like...
It was him all along.
I know it was Austin. It was him all along. Worst twist storyline ever.
Did you know that he was Hammond?
What?
It's a little Overwatch thing. Did you see those memes?
No, I didn't.
It's basically they do the whole reveal that they did of Wrecking Ball where it shows
Except
up and then it pops open, and then when Hammond would come up, it's other people. And the first one I saw was with Vince McMahon going, "It was me, Austin. Oh, damn it! It was me all along.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch."
I will say that JR call is great though.
Yeah. Oh, son of a bitch.
That was the moment I realized wrestling wasn't real.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, to harp more on the whole Braun Strowman thing, which, like, again, I wouldn't mind, but it's like Kevin Owens, yeah, he's kind of a liar and a jerk, but he's really done nothing wrong. What do you think about it? Or at least he hasn't done enough wrong to merit the kind of abuse he's suffering and the workplace environment hazards he's facing with Braun Strowman right now. He had his car flipped, and then this week he had to run away from him and was flipped and dragged into a porta potty and had stuff like poop washed all over him. For what? Because he suggested teaming up with him to help win the Money in the Bank, and helping him win the Money in the Bank so he can get the first title opportunity, for proposing that. And then, when realizing that Strowman's the biggest threat in the match, having everybody else beat him up. And then Strowman already got his revenge on him by throwing him off like a 10-foot ladder into a table and half landing on concrete.
But did you take into consideration that for Braun Strowman, this might be fun? And that's why he's doing it?
But then why are they still trying to treat Braun Strowman as a face? Because clearly he's acting like a complete dick and a heel, like a sick, twisted, demented heel.
That's
and why are you having him do it to another heel?
So
unless they're trying to pull off some sort of double turn.
So he's like Stone Cold.
He's not Austin. You can't turn Braun Strowman into Steve
I'm
Austin.
not saying he is also. I'm saying because he was doing whatever he wanted to whoever he wanted, hosing people down with beers, throwing stunners left and right.
Yeah, but the thing is because it was okay because that was like kind of how his character was established, and he started doing it against Vince McMahon. So it was like he doesn't give a shit about it. And with Austin, he would normally just deliver a stunner to random people. He would just stun people. He wouldn't and if he was going to do something like drive a Zamboni or like ram like a truck, an 18-wheeler into a car or something, it was because it was personal. Like it had gotten to a personal level where like that person that he did it to had reason to get their comeuppance. Like with Strowman, like he already gave Owens his comeuppance by throwing him off that ladder. Mm-hmm. And then technically he even got his comeuppance again, even though Owens didn't do anything further wrong or try to make it any more personal by flipping his car last week. So it's like
he's having fun. And it comes back to the whole thing of what are you going to do?
I think it's just stupid. I really don't like the direction they're taking Strowman's character, to be honest with you. I don't
like the direction they're taking a lot of characters.
Stuff like that. Yeah, but stuff like that, I feel those kinds of actions should be saved for when it's like personal. Instead, we're getting Braun Strowman being a troll to Kevin Owens when Kevin Owens really didn't do anything wrong when you think about it.
Well, I'm just going to point out something. At least this time when he did this stuff, at least, with the car, Owens wasn't in the car like it was with Reigns in the ambulance.
Yeah.
And but with the other thing, it was the porta potty, so it was just kind of poopy humor.
But the thing is, with Reigns in the ambulance, they had a bitter rivalry at that point.
Yeah.
They were both beating each other within an inch of their life to get a shot at Brock Lesnar, and they both just plain didn't like each other. And they had been it had built up for weeks and months, the intensity, and it built to that moment. With this, it's just, Braun just doesn't like him, so he's going to flip his car and throw him in a porta potty and chuck him off tables.
Okay. There's lots of wrestlers who have done stuff like that before.
I just don't.
And I understand, but like I said, it's something that hopefully will come to an end soon.
I mean, if somebody else enjoys it, fine. But for now, all I see is just Braun Strowman being a dick. And, I also wouldn't mind Braun Strowman being a dick to Kevin Owens if Kevin Owens was doing things that deserved him getting that kind of stuff.
True.
But right now, it's just Kevin Owens being like, hey, buddy, hey, can we be cool? I don't like getting beat up anymore by you. Can
Maybe
we be
that's
cool?
What it is.
And he's
Maybe
just like,
he's
no,
trying to white
boom.
fang him.
Wait, white fang? Why am I not
getting
Get on,
reference? Get.
Yeah.
I don't want you no more. Maybe he's just doing this stuff to get him to realize you should stay away from me.
I don't know.
It's like a really extreme case of white fang.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe things will change where my opinion will change. Just right now, that's just where it stands. Because I feel like as a face, Braun Strowman shouldn't be doing this unless Kevin Owens being too much of a dick. Or if he's doing this, I'd be fine if he just power slammed like Kevin Owens, maybe put him through a table, ringside, but to chase him into the back and then flip him and flip his car and flip a porta potty and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Big Stupid says, relax everybody, he's here. Welcome to him in the chat. Hugo asked if we watched Lucha Underground. We have not. I still need to watch Lucha Underground from the start. Stupid jokingly says because it's fun, but he says he agrees with me on some level. That he doesn't necessarily like where they're going, but as long as it's only for this lull until SummerSlam, it's fine. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I don't want to see them drag it out unless Kevin Owens does something
stabs him.
I don't know, maybe if Kevin Owens does something vicious or tries to do something underhanded, because it would also, again, that's another thing. If it turned out to where Braun Strowman had said okay, I'll consider it or whatever, and then Kevin turns on him, or maybe Kevin was while trying to apologize to him, tried to hit him with a chair, tried to give him a low blow or something like that. Give us a reason to know
Mhm.
why Braun wants to do this to him, other than than he just has fun hurting people.
Yeah. But anyway.
And Hugo asked me, where did I learn that that backflip? He must have watched my Instagram story. I was out on the lake for 4th of July, and I did a backflip off the boat. I kind of, well, he was able to do a backflip before me. I actually taught myself the hard way. I saw people doing backflips and moonsaults and stuff like that, and I wanted to learn how to backflip. I can't backflip on the ground. I can only backflip off of into like bodies of water off of things. But I actually taught myself like how to try to backflip and moonsault by literally just standing on soft ground outside and just trying it.
Yeah,
I learned the
it's
hard
usually how
way.
you do it.
There's a number on your knees.
Yep.
Big Stupid says Braun Strowman's gonna drop a house on him like a Roadrunner next.
There you go.
I can't do the little tongue thing, but beep,
Yeah.
pew.
Mhm.
That's my Roadrunner impression. It's not
was
good.
Poor at best.
It's not good. No, piss poor. I would even
Yep.
say.
So then on Tuesday night.
Well, don't you want to talk? Oh, well, that is Tuesday night after
Yeah,
SmackDown. You're right.
yeah,
You're right. Okay.
yeah.
So on Tuesday night,
Apparently there was one hell of a match.
yes, there was. But you want to talk about what happened on SmackDown before that hell of a match?
Sure.
So there were some segments with Team Hell No this week, which were okay. They're kind of amusing. Like, I didn't believe the acting as much. Like, it felt a little forced to me, but like, because I watched the opening segment, but it was kind of funny. Like, they had some nice little banter where like Kane came out and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just here to help my buddy Daniel Bryan because we've always been friends and I've always looked out for you." And Bryan's like, "Wait, really?"
You ended
Really?
my career
He's
that
like,
one time.
"You realize the last time we were in the ring together, we were opponents, and you tried to kill me and injure me. You tombstone me on the outside. You tombstone me on a table. You tombstone me on the stairs, and you tried to abduct my wife." And Kane just goes, "Tried,"
Good old Kane.
which was good. And then later on backstage, like, so it's like they're together, but it's like they're still at odds with each other. And then like, and Kane's like, "I've always had like your best interest at heart. We've always been friends." And Daniel Bryan's like, "No, we haven't." He's like, "Yes, we have. No, we haven't. Yes, we have. No, yes, no, yes, no, yes." Doing that callback was cool. And then later on in the night, they're backstage, and Kane's like, "Daniel, I want you to believe we are friends, dude. Like, seriously, I love you like a brother." And Daniel Bryan's like, "You burned your brother alive."
Yep, that's true. That's factual. God. Oh man. Good old Kane.
Good, yeah. So good to know that they're doing Team Hell No well still.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm still looking forward to seeing what's coming down the line from that. It looks like, and what happened with them is they had a good match with the Usos. Basically, whoever won that match, if the Usos won, they got inserted into the tag title match because the Team Hell No was given a title opportunity. And unless I'm remembering incorrectly, because I could have sworn I remember this, but Team Hell No won.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Team Hell No versus the Bludgeon Brothers at Extreme Rules.
Yep.
Which, of course, I feel like Team Hell No could use those tag titles.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
It'd
they've
be nice.
no offense to Harper and Rowan, but the tag belts have kind of, and the tag division kind of has suffered a little bit since they've won the titles at WrestleMania.
Because they haven't really been given that much of a
Exactly.
personality.
That's the thing. They haven't done much. They haven't been given much character. They just walk in and they beat up people.
Yeah.
So hopefully Team Hell No coming in everything will like
jumpstart the division.
Yeah, jumpstart things, inject some life into it.
We can only hope, right?
And then I don't think there was too much else going on SmackDown from what I can remember. I know that Aiden English and AJ Styles had a match. I think Rusev tried to get involved, didn't work out.
Sounds about right.
I think eventually Rusev put AJ Styles in the Accolade at some point, but AJ Styles won the match against Aiden English. And then Asuka had her match with James Ellsworth.
I didn't watch it.
I believe James Ellsworth eventually ran away and got counted out after getting like the crap kicked out of him. So they have a match set up again for next week between the two of them.
Okay.
So
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it for SmackDown. SmackDown was all right, was good from what I've heard and read. Raw, kind of disappointing, not too great.
Yeah.
But that seems to be par for the course of late. It seems like SmackDown's been having the better storylines.
Yeah.
And Raw not so much. At least in the past few weeks.
Yeah. I mean, it also kind of helps when you have your world champion around.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Did you hear, by the way, that apparently there might be a chance that Brock might be sticking around after SummerSlam?
Okay.
Because apparently his 1 year ban from the UFC
is not up yet.
It would have been up if he stayed in their drug testing system, but he pulled himself out of their drug testing system 6 months into his suspension, so he still has 6 months left about.
Sounds about right.
So we may still see Brock Lesnar as champion after SummerSlam. In which case, God,
I hope we still see him around, just not as champion.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing him in matches, but that championship needs to be off of him and on either Roman or Braun or Bobby Lashley. So that, preferably Roman or Braun, so that way Roman and Braun can fight each other for the championship.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe someone like Balor or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
or maybe Rollins.
Maybe Rollins. Maybe Monday Night Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Kevin Owens. He is a former Universal Champion after all.
I don't think he's a credible champion after what they're doing with him and Braun Strowman right now.
True.
They need to, his character will need some rebuilding, some retooling.
True.
So, what was this match that you said was pretty good?
Yeah, apparently they did a no disqualification match between Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali. I do not know the result yet. I have not gotten to watch the match yet. I am planning on watching it tomorrow, but I have seen clips, and everything I've heard about it is that if you have not started watching 205 Live, this is what you need to watch. That this match is absolutely amazing.
You say that like once a month.
Well, one of the clips that I've seen is Mustafa Ali doing a Spanish fly off the barricade through the ring announcer table to Buddy Murphy. And then I've also seen Buddy Murphy on the top rope with Mustafa Ali standing on the ring steps, stood up completely. So he's at the same exact height, if not a little higher than Buddy Murphy, and doing a superplex off of that. And just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So I need to go and see that. But everything I've been hearing is that it could quite possibly be match of the year for WWE as a whole. And this wasn't even on a pay-per-view or anything.
Who's saying that it's possibly match of the year as a whole?
People like, I believe, I know I've seen Drew Gulak say stuff like that, but I know people like, I think Rollins and stuff have been saying like this match is absolutely insane.
All right, so definitely gotta get around to watch it then.
It's not just people on 205 Live saying this stuff. It's people on like Raw and SmackDown being like, "Holy crap!"
Okay, Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy. Yeah. I mean, those are two guys who can go.
Yeah, they've had 3 matches in the past, which have been absolutely insane. I'm excited to see what they do in this. I'm pretty sure I saw
one of them. I think it was the one where like it was a number I think it was the first one they had where it was a number 1 contenders match or whatever for Cedric Alexander's Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah, the first match they had was in the tournament to determine the new Cruiserweight champion. And Mustafa Ali beat Buddy Murphy in that. Then Buddy Murphy beat him in the next match, which was to determine a number 1 contender. And then the last match was a no contest because Hideo Itami came out and beat the crap out of both of them. Which, by the way, have you seen Hideo Itami's new finisher?
Is it the GTS?
Because
he's been using it.
No.
What is it?
I don't like it. It's he grabs someone for like a reverse DDT position, and then he spins them around like this, pauses, and then does like a stunner thing into a knee. So like he falls back and puts his knee up and drops them like that. And it's
I'd
like
have to watch it.
If it was,
what it looks like.
If it was one solid motion, it'd be nice. Where if it was like a kind of like twist of fate, except instead of like doing a cutter, they land on the knee. It'd be nice, but it's literally he brings them like this and then pauses and then does the drop with the knee.
Maybe he'll adjust it over time.
I hope so. He's done it that way like 5 or 6 times now.
Yeah.
And he's got a title match against Cedric Alexander this upcoming Tuesday. So,
interesting.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for them to finally put a Cruiserweight title match back on a pay-per-view with how hot 205 Live has been.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll happen soon.
Hopefully SummerSlam.
But I believe that's all we have for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's not all that's going on in the world of wrestling, like actual wrestling.
Yep.
Something else happened.
Yeah, there was a match announced.
Yeah, there was.
Mm-hmm.
But not for a WWE event.
Mm-mm. For a independent event. And it involves a Rainmaker and someone who always carries an umbrella.
So wait, Okada's wrestling a resurrected Mary Poppins?
No, he's wrestling Jack Gallagher.
Ah, okay.
No. Yeah, it was recently announced that, well, I thought it was the first match, but if you think about it, it's technically the second match has been announced for All in Chicago. Technically, the first match was they announced that Cody Rhodes will be challenging, I believe it's Nick Aldis, who's the current champion, for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. But yeah, they just recently announced that the newest match for All In is going to be the villain Marty Scurll versus the Rainmaker Kushida Okada. So that match is going to be very good. I saw a lot of people being like, I'm not interested in this. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Interested in All In?
Interested in Scurll versus Okada.
Why wouldn't you be?
That's my thought.
I mean, I'm not too high on Scurll, but I'm interested to see him face Okada. I will always watch anything with Okada.
Oh, I'm a very big fan of Scurll. I'm excited to see this match.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a great character. He's got a great moveset. I'm excited to see what he does against someone like Okada.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So that's going to be happening. What is it? September 1st is the event. So excited to see what happens with that.
Yes. I heard something about NXT. Hugo Gonzalez was mentioning it.
Oh yeah, I know. What was it that they did this week with NXT? I remember I saw about it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, because I know last week they did stuff with Tommaso Ciampa and stuff. Oh, that's right. I know the main event this week, they had 3 matches. I know Velveteen was in one. I forget who he faced. They did TM61 versus Heavy Machinery, and the main event was EC3 versus Johnny Gargano. And apparently, Johnny Gargano started going to a darker side, like he's been doing up against Tommaso Ciampa to beat EC3 this week.
Yeah, I heard that they had a really good match this week. And I'm trying to read up on it right now, but yeah, they basically said that he was basically just being more, like darker, much using the aggressive, almost like viciousness that he was using with Ciampa against EC3 in order to defeat EC3. That's a match I got to go back and make sure that I watch. I totally forgot that EC3 versus Gargano was happening on NXT this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they announced, I believe it's in like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, on NXT, not a takeover, on NXT, we're getting Ciampa versus Aleister Black for the NXT Championship.
On NXT?
On NXT.
That makes me believe he's not going to win.
Yeah, unless they have him win and then they have the rematch at TakeOver Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And he retains there, and then Aleister Black is like, wee, up to the main roster.
Yeah. We might. I don't know. Would they really send him to the main roster before, unless they just want to put the title on Ciampa quickly and just do Gargano Ciampa at SummerSlam already, at the SummerSlam takeover, but that's kind of accelerating the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, they may have him win at this and then do the rematch at Brooklyn between Aleister and Ciampa for TakeOver Brooklyn, and then maybe lead up to like one title defense or something like that at whatever takeover they're going to call it before Survivor Series, and then for the takeover for WrestleMania, do Gargano Ciampa for the title.
Or they could have Gargano screw Ciampa out of the title, and then we get a triple threat match.
That too.
which I don't want. I do want a singles match between Gargano and Ciampa for the championship,
Same.
but it's something they could do.
Oh, it's possible. Oh, Velveteen Dream versus Dijak was the other match.
And Otis Dozovic versus the Mighty.
Well,
The Mighty Don't Kneel.
Well,
TM61.
they were going by TM61. They recently, with their heel turn, have just simplified it to the Mighty. So that's what they're going by.
That's fine.
And that's what they went by originally on the Indies, was just
Well,
the
they were
Mighty Don't Kneel.
Yeah, the Mighty Don't Kneel.
And they did TM61 for the Mighty, and then the area code for Australia. But now they just shortened it to the Mighty.
Yep.
But yeah, should be very, very good. Can't wait to see that. Like I said,
Yes.
I'll probably be watching that and 205 Live tomorrow at work.
Yeah.
So
I think I've got some free time tomorrow, so I'll probably make sure I watch Ali versus Murphy and then NXT stuff tomorrow. Yo, Paperback Skate is on. What is up, man? Just finished streaming. Nice, dude. How's your stream going, dude? I hope your stream's doing well. Paperback Skate, by the way, is a longtime follower, viewer, and he does his own live stream on his own channel. So,
and
cool.
Hugo, they did not announce that on NXT this week, but apparently that's something that was announced at the tapings, and they set out the announcement on Twitter and everything.
Ah, okay.
About that match coming up in a couple weeks, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because the way that WWE.com tries to handle things is with big news, they know that's going to leak out on the dirt sheet sometimes, is that even if it hasn't aired yet on NXT or something like that, they will actually like announce it so that way they can say that they broke the news.
Yeah, just like what happened with Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
When Mustache Mountain won, that they announced that, and then when they lost it again on NXT, they announced that as well. So
yeah. Got 2 followers. Nice, Paperback Skate. Awesome. Keep on that grind, man. So the last bit of thing I want to talk about regarding wrestling has to do with wrestling, but it's not physical wrestling. It's a TV show about wrestling and some gorgeous women, gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Yep.
Glow season 2 came out last week, and if you guys are listeners, frequent listeners to us or longtime listeners to us, you know that we discussed Glow season 1 when it came out, and we loved it, raved about it, told people who are of age to watch it, definitely to watch it.
Yeah. Definitely of age too.
Yes. And yes, I do know Paperback Skate. I know who you are. Glow season 2 launched last week. Finally got a chance to finish it last night, as we had mentioned before. You finished it this week, just yesterday as well.
Yep.
So I don't know how you feel about it, but I loved it just as much as season 1.
Yeah,
if not more. And I'm excited for season 3.
Yeah, I mean, the storyline, like the main storyline with them and the TV network and everything, kind of to me got a little annoying after a while, but overall I thought the show was a very solid season.
Yeah. Hello to footballers in the chat, by the way. I didn't mind the TV storyline, and the reason why is because of where we ended up in the end.
Yeah.
Because I watched, there's also, by the way, this is, I think, more suitable for all ages. There's actually a documentary out on Netflix of the original Real Glow, which I've watched. Speaking of which, fun fact for those of you who don't know, Ivory was one of the wrestlers for the original Glow.
Yep.
BT Dubs. So she was on there, which was cool. But the Real Glow, when they really took off and like got their actual cable deals and everything, was when they were wrestling in a hotel ballroom in Vegas. They, like, a friend of the producer like owned a casino in Vegas. I can't remember which one it was, and just said, yeah, you could use my ballroom for the show.
Yeah.
So now they've figured out a way to move the show from LA to that place of Vegas to honor the original Glow.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like. And I liked the way that they did the whole TV storyline thing. And the one thing that I did like about this season is that they did not shy away from certain subjects.
Yeah.
In particular, what the main TV executive, I can't remember his name. I think his last name was Grant. Tom Grant, I think, was the character's name.
Yeah, Tom something, yeah.
His last name was Grant. I just couldn't remember what his first name was. Where it almost felt
almost
Well, it felt very reminiscent of all these stories you hear that have been coming out over the past year, specifically with like guys like Harvey Weinstein and stuff like that about the Me Too movement. And it was real. They did not shy away from it. They showed as they
Showed a decent amount.
and yeah, like I thought that was really well done, and I loved the way that they not just the way that that the situation with Ruth was played out with the executive, but I loved her and Debbie's interaction after the fact, because it really just shows not just how bad it is still or today, or hopefully it's improving now after what happened last year, but how it's been like that since the 80s, and like how they had that discussion about it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one of my things that I was annoyed with it though was the whole thing with Debbie in general. Just like it seemed like at every single turn it was like, what can I do to piss more people off?
well, I mean, she was going through a divorce, and we already know with her character in season 1 that she is a bit of a bitch, that she can be very like controlling and egotistical, which comes out when she has her big blow off argument with Ruth towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And she does make up for it eventually.
My main thing was just the whole thing of like it felt like they were trying to throw too much drama into it while having like the main thing of the whole TV deal drawn out for so long.
I guess. I mean, I didn't mind it.
I know, like I said, it was still a very good season. That's the only bad thing I could think of about it, is that seemed to drag on forever. I loved all the stuff they did with Bash.
Oh, I loved it. It's Bash's character right now is very interesting, which probably should have mentioned this beforehand, but spoilers if you guys haven't watched season 2 of Glow.
Well, we've been talking about kind of vague stuff to this point.
We're gonna go full spoilers here. So if you haven't watched season 2 of Glow, mute or click ahead or whatever. And then come back once you've watched it, if you're allowed to watch it, if you're of age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bash, I really liked what they did with him, because it's very clear and obvious throughout the start of the season now that he is in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
And that his butler was not just his butler.
I wouldn't say that he was in the closet so much as he was at the very least like had an interest and was very confused about it, more or less. Like, because one of the things I'm going to point out about it was when he went to the bar and he was super confused when the guy started hitting on him. He was like, no, 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 no. Where it's, I don't think it was that he's in the closet so much as he is in there and doesn't realize it.
I think what it is, I think him and his butler had a romantic relationship, but he's still in denial about coming to terms with the fact that he is maybe homosexual, or he has maybe bisexual or homosexual feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And because, in the 80s and, growing, like, that was very taboo. Like, yes, Freddie Mercury came out as gay, but like the whole AIDS scare of the 80s, like that made being gay very much a taboo thing at the time. So we're dealing with Bash trying to deal with these feelings and these emotions, and he was clearly in love with his butler, if they weren't having a romantic relationship or not.
Yeah.
So, it's just very interesting to see his character grow and develop, and like it makes me believe, like, I'm not sure whether or not his marriage to Rhonda, who is Britannica also, is legit. I don't know if that's him genuinely in love with Rhonda, or if it's him just doing it as a brash decision to try and like deny him to himself or lie to himself that he's not gay and that he's actually straight.
Well, part of the reason why I think it's also a matter of he was more confused and he might not be strictly gay is the fact that he also, like, a little bit in the last season and also a little bit in the beginning of this season, it was hinted that he may have something going on a little bit with Carmen as well, which is why at the end when he was like, oh, why do you think I was always going to your room? Because I was in love with you, blah, blah, blah. That was also Carmen's room. He was always going there to see her.
That's
So that's
true.
why I think it was a little
But
bit
also,
more complicated.
yeah, I think he might. If anything, he's possibly a bisexual
Yeah.
character, because also in season 1, when you see him interact with his butler, like you can tell that his butler is gay.
Yeah.
But the way that they interact, it almost seems like his butler knows that he's gay and that they almost have some sort of romantic relationship going on.
Yeah.
So it's very confusing. Like, I don't know, like, whether or not he's in the closet or whether he's bisexual or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, but I will say it's very compelling.
Yeah.
And you can tell, and like the last shot of him in the season is of him like staring straight faced, like almost not knowing what to do or what he's gotten himself into.
Yeah.
So it's just incredibly. It's incredibly interesting to see what's going to happen with his character going forward. Like, Bash is probably one of my favorite characters in the show because of just the ride that his character is taking and the journey his character is going on.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where it goes. But anyway, we had some cheers going on. Footballers for 2 cheers. Payback Skate for 2. Thank you. And then Big Stupid used 200 with a soccer ball, which gave other people a chance to. He activated a football giveaway for 3 other people in chat. So you can cheer any amount to get football emotes if you guys want. So go ahead and do that. One thing that I thought was really cool with this season was the fact that the second to last, I think it was second or third to last episode, was actually like an episode of Glow.
Yeah.
After they're like, let's just throw everything at the wall and see what happens.
Yeah.
And you got to see the skits, you got to see how it meshed into the matches and everything. So it was great. I loved it.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Although it got a little ridiculous with Zoya's cousin.
That was a little, but I thought it was cool. I liked it.
Okay, let me rephrase. Zoya's cousin and the goat.
Yeah. But I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. You got to see what the characters look like. You got to see what the show looked like in production. Mm-hmm. We also got a nice little, in the season finale, we got cameos by Carlito and by Chavo Guerrero.
Yep.
Chavo, by the way, if none of you know, actually trained all the actresses, all the actors and actresses to wrestle for the show. And he's a producer. I think he's a producer and executive producer on the show too.
Very nice.
I believe, which is cool.
Yeah.
So it was good to see them in there and doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like all the wrestling journey and how like they eventually realized like, okay, just the fact that we're women isn't good enough. We need to like up our game with wrestling, and so it shows them training, doing more better, complicated moves.
Mm-hmm.
All good. Cool stuff.
It was nice.
Like my review of this show, you could say, for both season 1 and now season 2, is glowing.
Yep, I knew you were gonna say
that. You saw it coming. I telegraphed it. But yes, I love Glow. I think season 2 is just as good, if not better, than season 1. It's great with the wrestling. The characters are all good. They all have their own journeys. They all develop and morph and evolve.
Yeah, especially
over
with
time.
The new Junk Chain and Beirut.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that storyline.
I loved it. I've loved all of that.
Yeah.
Like this show.
Everything about this season
doesn't just
has been
include
good in general.
Yeah, it doesn't just include wrestling. It includes smart commentary. All the characters evolve, grow over time, and it makes sense to where they're all coming from and where they're all going. Mm-hmm. So I love it. I love the show. I can't wait for season 3.
Yes.
And yes, Payback Skate Glow is on Netflix both seasons.
Yep,
it is a Netflix exclusive show.
Yeah, it's a Netflix original as well. So.
Yeah.
All right.
You love Glow?
Yeah.
Your final take on Glow season 2?
Yes, it is very, very good. I highly recommend it.
Okay. Cool. All right, so that's it for the wrestling side of the show. We're gonna jump into some video game stuff, and before we're going to be discussing the Fortnite stuff with the Rocket and season 5 coming up. Mm-hmm. But first, we want to talk about a couple things from this game, from this company that makes a game that we used to play all the time.
Yep.
ArenaNet, who made Guild Wars and then eventually Guild Wars 2, which God I miss Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. Laserscope, by the way, who works with High Res on Realm Royale. He plays Guild Wars all the time. He helped me get through the final dungeon.
There you go.
To kill the Elder Dragon Zaitan in Guild Wars 2. But anyway, sidebar aside, ArenaNet's in the news for not such great stuff this week.
Yeah.
Apparently, a YouTuber had some fair and reasonable, apparently some very fair, professional, he laid it out professionally and all that, criticism about Guild Wars 2 and how branching dialogue works and the storyline and all that stuff and the living story and all that in Guild Wars 2. His name's Deroyer. Deroyer? Yeah, Deroyer. Deroir. And one of the developers, Jessica Price, was talking to him about how it's not that simple, and then he rebutted with like some ideas on how it could be different. And then she took it. This is Jessica Price. She took it as him trying to mansplain to her, which I don't think was what was going on.
Well, what it basically was is he was explaining what the writing team could do to do a better job with it, and her being on and tagging her specifically, and her being on the writing team being like, well, I know you think it's easy, but with the type of game and everything, it's not so simple. And then him being like, no, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. This is why I think it's different, because it's not exactly about this. It's about this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was a matter of, as I like to put it, it was someone trying to tell someone why they're not 100% right about their job, and why this person who does not do the job is right about this person's job. And that's why she got upset.
I can understand why she got upset, but at the same time, it didn't seem like he was trying to be too unprofessional. And he does play the game a lot. He's a YouTuber in the community. So it seems like he has reasonable feedback. I feel like she could have given good discourse or maybe just ignored the comment. But like, I also don't, I think her interpretation was wrong on what he was trying to do, but I understand why she would get upset, because, you know, anybody telling you how to do your job when they don't do your job kind of pisses you off. But at the same time, like, I work in you know, fantasy sports. Say somebody tries to explain to me like how to make a social media post, and they post a good and they give me like an idea, and if I'm like, well, you can't do this, and this, and then somebody's like, oh, well, you can do it like this, like, part of me could be like, you know, well, that's a good idea, let me see if I can make it work. But the other way I could come back is be like, well, that's not how the job works, that's not how social media works.
Well, I think it's more
like don't tell me how to do my job. And I think a better way to come off of it might be like, well, yeah, there's these issues, and that's not how things work, but maybe we could try to see if there's a way we can take what you're trying to say and translate it into something else. Like, maybe try to appease the person.
Well, from what I've seen of this, it's something similar that I've dealt with in my line of work. I do a lot of stuff with my hands. I do a lot of repairs and things like that. I do a lot of preventative maintenance on equipment and everything. And it's the kind of thing that I run into on a daily basis, where it's a matter of, like, there's a problem. Let's say there's a leak in a certain pipe, and someone's trying to tell me, well, why don't you just take this and do that? And I tell them, well, it'd be nice if I could do that, but that actually is not physically possible. That's not the way the system works. You can't just you can't just shut the water off here. There's no way to shut the water off here without shutting it off all here, and we can't do that and keep the system running. And then someone trying to explain to me, well, I'm sure there's a way you could do it. You just got to figure it out. There's got to be some way to do it. Well, and he's telling them, like, well, there's not a way to do that. And I think with the way she was going on about it, as opposed to him, is he was trying to go into, like, well, this is how you could do it in regards to this kind of game. And her being like, yeah, because with her, she initially was trying to explain, well, I can't do it like this because this is the way the game literally runs. I can't do that because I'm not physically able to. And him trying to be like, yeah, and him trying to be like, well, let me disagree with you on this. And that's why she just responded with, allow me, a person who does not work with you, explain to you how to do your job.
Well, I don't know. In my opinion, it's not even to be that much of like explaining or whatever. Like,
and he wasn't trying to be a jerk, but it's at the same time, it's her just trying to defend herself.
I understand her saying, like, you know, like she responded to a tweet saying, today in being a female game dev, allow me, a person who does not work with you, explain to you how you do your job. Like, I can understand how she's getting upset like that, but I don't think she needed to throw in the today being a female game dev like try, because he from what I've read and from what I've heard is that he never really called her out for being a woman.
The
and not
reason
being able to
that
do it.
she did that is because not only this, but as I mentioned to you before, there was a lot of stuff on Reddit and everything, and a lot of the people on Reddit were going after her for being a woman and not really knowing
which
what
is
she's
not
doing.
fair.
Yeah,
and not
which is
cool.
why she put that in there, because it's not just
I
about
don't
just
think-
this tweet.
I'd have to read the rest of Durar's tweets in this line, but I don't think. Let's see. I don't think. Yeah, he doesn't really. Him in particular, he doesn't mention that she's a woman.
Yeah, but she's getting a little upset because he's trying to tell her what they do at their job.
Yeah, but also at the same time, you gotta understand, like, he's only trying to help. Like, he's not calling her names. He's not being unprofessional.
Yeah.
Like,
but
all
it's not
takes,
like he's even doing it. Like, it's also a matter of he's doing it to her personally,
like,
on her personal account.
Like, she singled out. I mean, I guess, but like
normally this kind of stuff, people
I know, but
go
she,
to ArenaNet.
she singled out the one person who was actually being courteous, like using a courteous and professional tone about it, and he doesn't once refer to, like, you're a woman in particular, like, you should not, like, you can't do your job because you're, like, I understand her frustrations. I understand where it's coming from. I can understand where she's coming from. I'm just saying that, like, she probably shouldn't have singled him out for the, oh, guys, people trying to mansplain to me. It was more just a person giving feedback. Maybe he doesn't understand, or be like, but you also got to understand in the social space, which we'll get to in the future part, like, you got to be careful with what you say sometimes. Now, that said, I don't believe what she said deserved what ArenaNet did to her.
And another coworker.
One of her other coworkers came to her event, said that it was her private account. She never asked for his feedback. He just started mentioning her, replying to her, or whatever. Which, yeah, I can understand. That's not cool.
Yeah.
But maybe he's just honestly trying to have an honest conversation with her on her Twitter. And if her accounts were actually private, like, I don't think you can follow somebody on, like, it's her personal account, yes, but, like, nothing on Twitter is actually fully private.
Yeah.
Like, there are no privacy settings on Twitter. So, like, you're opening yourself up for criticism. Like, I've dealt with it when I was up, down. All kinds of people like this deal with this. So the private part I don't understand. She never asked for his feedback, yes, but, like, you can also just ignore him.
Yeah.
That said,
well, it's also I'm just going to point out, you could say as much as you want. You could just ignore him. It's a little hard when that person keeps going after you when you try to calmly explain it first, and then you've got other people on other sides going after you too.
You just stop replying. You just ignore it. You just say thank you for your feedback, and you stop. Apparently you can make your account private on Twitter, so I was wrong about that.
Yeah, you can.
So maybe she did have it set as private, but if she had it set as private, I don't know how he was able to, like, reply to her tweets.
If she allowed him to follow her, he'd be allowed to do stuff like that. Yeah.
Maybe. Well, then, even then, if you don't want to engage in the conversation, you don't like what he's saying, unfollow him, or, like, block him. You can do that. But Big Stupid chimes in. He mentioned that. He also says if she's capable of handling if she's not capable of handling a conversation about her job, then don't respond to him in the first place. Which is a thing that she could have done. But anyway, she did respond. This writer guy, Fries, came to her defense. And this I don't agree with. ArenaNet responded by firing both of them.
Yeah.
Saying that they weren't showing, they weren't reflecting their code of conduct with regards to interacting with the ArenaNet community. And so they use that as grounds for termination. Yep. That I don't agree with. That's messed up. Yeah. I could use another word, but I'm trying not to swear this time.
Yeah. It's a matter of, oh, so you pissed someone off that was pissing you off on your own personal account, on your own personal time, because they were specifically tagging you and asking you these questions and everything. So we're going to let you go because of this thing that you did on your own personal time.
I can understand. Well, I can understand them maybe reprimanding her.
Yeah.
Or maybe having a conversation with her, being like, look,
exactly.
We have a code. We're trying to maintain a positive look. You represent the company. A lot of companies nowadays, like NBC Sports has it too. and NBC has it. A lot of other big companies have like a social media policy. It's like, you can't be like vitriolic or super negative or hateful towards people, like because you are representing the company, and you're in a public space, in a public sphere, and you can't act like an a-hole to people, because that looks bad. That impacts negatively upon the brand, upon the company. So I think a discussion like that, and then just maybe saying in a statement that they had spoken with the employees, and that we ensure that we are open to community ideas. Done. That's it. That's fine. They both get to keep their jobs. You let them know that we really can't have that in the future, and then the community is fine. Firing them is just ridiculous. That's way over the line. You've taken people's jobs for merely just speaking up once and trying to stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
Granted, I thought that they were in the wrong, but they were just trying to stand up for themselves on Twitter. And and they haven't had any previous incidents of this. And when you see some of the other stuff that that where people are lashing out at other fandoms, for example, like stuff like in Star Wars, like with maybe say Kathleen Kennedy or Ryan Johnson or some of the writers of the novels that I've been hearing, they've been lashing out far worse than this on Twitter, and yet they still have their jobs. Like,
yeah. Which is why I've been seeing a lot of people being like, this is why especially jobs like these need to be unionized, because it's BS that something like this happens and someone loses their job over it. This is not something that someone should lose their job over.
Yeah. So, like, the incident was bad. I feel like they were the two people were in the wrong for responding the way that they did. But at the same time, ArenaNet, I think, is in the worst, because now two people are out of a job and they can't make money, and they are looking for new places to work and live and feed themselves and or their families, just because of one slip on social media. You couldn't just have a conversation with them. I mean, then again, maybe they did have a conversation with them. And they were like, screw that, and they both were terminated as a result. But like, they didn't clarify. They didn't say we had a discussion with them and they didn't agree, and so we had to let them go. They just said, nope, they're terminated. They're gone.
From what I've seen from people from people posting, different people from Polygon, and also people like Austin Walker and stuff, they've basically been saying that it's a matter of they didn't even talk with them about it. They apparently called them in and just let them go.
That's horrible.
And talking about like, this is the problem with the games industry today. Is something like this happens and someone loses their jobs. And it's a matter of, maybe the person shouldn't have started bothering them about it. And when they calmly explain that that's not how they worked, maybe drop it, because it wouldn't have escalated. And if it didn't escalate, it wouldn't. But it's just a matter of, it's ridiculous. This kind of stuff shouldn't happen. Someone's livelihood should not be cost because of a stupid Twitter argument.
It's inexcusable. Like, I used to hold ArenaNet in the highest regards of game companies, just because of how much I loved Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2, and their reputation and their image of that I have of them has been taken a serious hit and is seriously tarnished now because of this incident.
Yeah, I've been hoping to get a new computer so that way at some point. So part of the reason is so I can get back into Guild Wars 2 and everything. But after something like this, it's a matter of,
do you want to give ArenaNet that money now?
No, I don't. Because why should I give you money if you're going to fire the people that are working on the game? Who am I giving the money to then?
Yeah.
If the people who are actually making the game aren't getting the money, what's the point? Yes. And if they make one tiny mistake, they're going to get fired. Do not like it.
No, me neither. Not at all.
Yep.
So now let's move on to the big Fortnite stuff, and then we got another few things that are going on after that.
Yep.
I'm surprised I haven't heard a certain chime from you yet.
There hasn't been any news.
So we're going to go without any mention of anything?
Yep. I
mean, technically, it could have boop-a-dooped in when you mentioned the whole Hammond
I did that
thing.
last week.
I guess. Well, no, the meme thing. Because that's technically news, and that's new.
That was the same thing with last week.
I'm trying to give you a reason to do your annoying chime, and you're not taking it. All right, fine. Anyway, the Fortnite stuff. I'm just waiting for you to slip it in now that you actually do secretly have
If
something.
I had something, I would do it, but I'm basically waiting until we get more information about Hammond and all that, and when he's releasing and everything like that.
Okay. Well, the big Fortnite stuff that happened pretty much right around when we were podcasting last week, the rocket that is outside of Snobby Shores on the map of Fortnite launched. For those of you who don't know, in Season 4, a meteor landed on the map for Fortnite. Inside, we found out after they excavated, was a pod that opened up. And movie sets started popping up where they were trying to make superhero movies and stuff based around on the island, I guess based around the crash of the meteor and whatnot. And this evil base showed up on Snobby Shores. We didn't know if it was part of the movies or not, but there was a rocket there. People theorized that maybe the rocket's going to launch, and that'll be the big event for the end of the season. They were right. A couple days before the rocket launched, there was a countdown showing up on all the TV screens in the map and showing up at the rocket silo in the secret base. And then it launched off. People believe it was the visitor, who is the alien who is inside the pod in the comet, launching off, trying to escape from where they were. Some people thought it might be some evil villain who's trying to blow a place up. We still don't know exactly what happened. Basically what happened was the rocket launched into the air, went into like the atmosphere, and then it redirected itself and laser pointed down on the Tilted Towers as if it was going to destroy Tilted Towers. And then a rift in like space-time opened up and absorbed the rocket. And then it shot out going vertical and then went all over the place through another space-time rift and came back and got absorbed by another one. Then it went through space-time rifts again across the map until it finally shot up into the air above Tilted Towers and like kind of exploded in a space-time rift and created this massive crack across the sky.
And next, they've announced that season 5 is going to be with the Beast of a Billion Backs, or with a billion backs.
You're hilarious. I should start calling you Zaphod Beeblebrox.
That's not the reference
Damn it!
I was going
I thought
for.
that was a reference you were going with.
It's
Beast of the Billion
Futurama.
Backs is damn it! Oh wow! I messed that up. I thought you were making a Hitchhiker's Guide Across the Galaxy.
Nope.
Reference,
Futurama.
but you're making a Futurama reference. Okay, so that's a fail right there. Anyway, yeah, so now we're figuring out how this is all going to tie into Season 5. As we've been getting closer and closer to the end of Season 4 and the beginning of Season 5, the crack has been expanding. It's almost starting to, like, crack all the way down into the ocean and absorb, almost, like, surrounding the map. And little bitty rifts are appearing in the map. People aren't sure what this could mean, but we'll get into that. We're going to break down what's coming with Season 5. Season 5 is going to start July 12th at 4 a.m. Is basically, so that's going to be this Friday, and it'll last until September 20th, which is right with the big releases of the year. So yeah, there's the rocket launch. So people don't know what it means exactly. Is it wormholes, portals, or aliens going to come through? Is there going to be time travel?
It's just it's gonna stretch across the sky. The sky is gonna shatter, and then you're gonna be in PUBG.
I guess the rocket launch exploded above Moisty Mire, so players suspect the majority of major map changes might happen in that location, but don't rule out other areas of the map just yet. Some people think it might be a whole new map, or maybe the map will be transported to somewhere else.
Yeah, I've heard that they might be working on a new map. So,
and then. There's no official confirmation of what the theme is. Obviously, I think they're waiting to see. I think they're waiting to see what's going to happen with the Rift before they announce what the theme's going to be. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going forward with Fortnite. Lots of anticipation. People are excited about Season 5. I actually have unlocked I've basically completed the Battle Pass completely. I just have one mission left to do, which involves which involves a squad of 3 other people, and then I have to hit certain levels that I'm not going to hit in order to like upgrade certain skins.
yeah.
But I did get the visitor skin, which is what you're looking at right now.
Very nice.
Which is cool. So also the other big Fortnite news is that the playground mode finally launched.
Yeah.
Playground mode is basically you can jump in with your friends. It's kind of like almost like a private match. You can run around, mess around with whatever you want, build ridiculous structures. You can still kill your friends as you play, run around. I did see our my old YouTube buddy Chris Danker, Dank Ops, which congratulations to him, by the way. He has surpassed 1 million subs over on YouTube. I watched one of his live streams and he was messing around. Him and one of his friends that he was streaming with, they gathered enough wood from using the playground to cover all of Dusty Depot. They gave Dusty, which is Dusty Divot, which is this spot you're looking at now.
Mm-hmm.
They gave it a roof, so they covered up the crater with a roof.
There you go.
Which was cool. So that's just some of the cool stuff that people can mess around with in playground.
I wonder how long it'll be before people start building a tower to heaven like in South Park.
Where were you when they built the ladder to heaven?
Yep. God.
All that fun stuff. All right, I'll let you tackle this next story as we move away from
Yeah, it's a very short but sweet
Fortnite.
bit, which is that Bethesda has released their cover that they have for Country Roads for Fallout 76, which I believe is by a specific group, Co-Pilot Sound and Music, I believe is the name of the group, that has done a bunch of music for a bunch of their games like Dishonored 2 and things like that, in which they just released it on iTunes, only on iTunes so far, in which it'll be $1, or it is $1, and all the money that is made off of this selling of this song is being donated to Habitat for Humanity,
which is really cool.
Yeah, I like it.
That's cool. I almost kind of want to get it, but I don't have iTunes, so I may have to wait until it's somewhere else.
There's a lot of people being like, when is it going to be on Amazon and or Google Play? And I'm just like, ditto.
Yeah, me too. Because I use both Google Play Music for my podcast, and I use Amazon's like Prime Music. Yeah. So if I could get access to it via either of those, I would very much appreciate it. I would probably, since it goes to Habitat for Humanity, I'd probably just buy the song anyway once it's just on the platform. Those are just the platforms that I use.
Yeah, exactly.
So, very cool thing that Bethesda's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. For people who are still playing Pokemon Go, by the way, trading was introduced, by the way, a few weeks ago. We didn't go into detail on that. I don't have the information on it now. Maybe we can dive into it in a future episode. But there is a event coming in for the summer. For those of you who want to capture a cool Pokemon in the summer, the sunglasses wearing Squirtles from the Squirtle Squad, who are some of the coolest Pokemon in one of the most awesome episodes of the original Pokemon anime, as I remember. They are going to be findable and catchable in Pokemon Go. It's going to be done for the game's Community Day event. I'm not sure. It's going to be on July 8th. What day is today? The 7th? So tomorrow from 2 to 5 p.m. You can go out there and get a Squirtle with sunglasses on. I don't play Pokemon Go that much, but I kind of want, if I ever get back into it, I kind of want to say that I have a Squirtle Squad Squirtle. Yeah. So I almost kind of want to reinstall the game tomorrow just to go out between 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, by the way, so adjust your clocks accordingly, and capture myself a Squirtle Squad guy. Yeah, there you go. And now that trading's available, I can finally trade the extra Mr. Mimes I got while I was in England.
There you go.
Or maybe trade some decent Pokemon for like some of the other international things if I get back into it. I don't know if I want to go back down that rabbit hole though.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. And then in movie news,
we actually, I think, briefly talked about that last week.
Yeah. Just again, want to touch on the fact that Sonic the Hedgehog movie is coming out, and Dr. Robotnik, aka Eggman, is going to be played by Jim Carrey.
Yep. It'll be interesting.
Definitely. Definitely will be interesting. I will say that much. I agree with you there. And then the last bit of news we want to talk about is some Madden news. Madden NFL 19. They put out their 99 rated players. I think the full roster and team ratings are out there somewhere in the ethos, but we now know who are going to be 99 overall in the game, and we have 7 players in Madden 19 who are going to be 99 overall rated. And I don't know if I agree with all of these guys, but I agree with a lot of them.
Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth. Michael Jordan.
Wrong sport, but
Wayne
Babe
Gretzky.
Ruth. Stop it. Babe Ruth is a 99 overall rated card that you can get in Diamond Dynasty, and MLB The Show 18. You got to do a lot of stuff to get him, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, men NFL 99 has... Stop it. Are you done?
Yes. Ric Flair. I'm done.
Not Eli Manning. You're hilarious, big stupid. He'll be a 99 next year after the Giants win the Super Bowl again. Anyway... launch day Madden NFL 99 is going to have 7 99 rated players, and that is Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, who is considered the #1 wide receiver in the entire league, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. LA Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald, Rob Gronkowski, which Gronk is good, but he's getting up there in age, and considering there were rumors that he might retire this season, I don't know if a 99 overall rating is accurate for him this year. Maybe in years past, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, especially since he's friends with Mojo Rawley.
that shouldn't detract from it. Well, maybe it should. No, it
Yeah,
shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't, but it should.
Carolina linebacker Luke Kuechly, Denver linebacker Von Miller, and of course Aaron Rodgers are all rated 99. So we got 299 overall quarterbacks, a 99 overall wide receiver, and then a defensive lineman, tight end, and 2 linebackers. So no 99 overall running backs this season.
Yeah, and as Big Stupid points out, he says Joey Ryan's penis, but that's actually not true because he's actually the only character in the game rated 100 overall.
Why do you do this? Why do you do things like this?
Why not?
Why? Well, on that note, that's going to do it for episode 55 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. Thank you all so much for coming, watching, listening, all that stuff. Do not forget, you can watch us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/L_Murpho every single episode. You can also catch a highlight of the video on VOD, so you can watch it back if you don't catch it live on Twitch. You can also watch it back on Twitch. Or not on Twitch, but on YouTube as well in VOD form. Just go to youtube.com/LMurphoReal. It is the El Murpho channel. You can also listen to us in audio form. Well, actually, before I get to that, on YouTube, do not forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can also do stuff similar to that in the audio version where you can listen to it by searching Super Grapple Bros. You can rate, review, and subscribe there. The ratings and the reviews help us out. We are not yet an officially rated podcast because we need more ratings and reviews. Once we get those ratings and reviews, more people will be able to find us, search us, join the community, join in the chat, join in the conversation with us. So please rate, review, and subscribe to Super Grapple Bros on Google Play, iTunes/Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and lots of other places where podcasts can be found. Mm-hmm. If you have any questions, concerns, topics of conversation, do not forget, you can email us at supergrappbros@gmail.com, and you can also join the El Murpho Discord channel, Discord server. We have 2 Super Grapple Bros channels. One is viewer-submitted predictions for pay-per-views, which we're looking to potentially do a giveaway to whoever predicts the most matches or pay-per-views come after next year's WrestleMania. We also get a shout out for getting the most predictions in a pay-per-view on our show, and if you can beat us in predictions. Yep. And then there's also one for just general topic, conversation, all that stuff. And do not forget, last but not least, to follow us on Twitter. I am L_Murpho.
I am DMurph_42.
And if you do that, you will know whenever we go live, because we always like to tweet when we go live with an episode of Super Grapple Bros. We also like to announce it in the Discord server as well, so that's another good reason to join the Discord server so you know when we go live. And with that, that's going to do it for the episode. Let's get our Kayfabe News article of the ep.
I just want to point out quickly that as soon as I saw this headline, I knew this was the one that I was going to have to use this week, and then it was further confirmed because about 20 minutes after I had already seen it and everything online, Big Stupid, a friend of ours of the show, actually sent it to me on Twitter saying that it has to be, and I already agreed with him. And that is Lesnar to be playable character in WWE 2K19, but only 4 times a year.
I knew that was coming when you said Lesnar in WWE 2K19. Let's do it. Let's do it, 2K. Do it, 2K.
Lesnar's character in WWE 2K19 remains locked until the big paydays. Locked until SummerSlam.
He's locked behind a paywall?
Yep.
You have to pay to access Brock Lesnar for a single match?
99 cents per match.
You got to pay 99 cents per match in order to use Brock Lesnar.
If it goes over 15 minutes, that goes up to $2.99.
Yep, exactly. And do not put the championship on him, because then you got to pay to use the championship from then on out.
Yep. So at the end of it, you're basically playing for the freaking WWE network. So
yeah, exactly. $9.99. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for coming and watching. We'll catch you next time. Next episode will be our Extreme Rules predictions episode. Looks like it's going to be happening this upcoming Friday night. If not, it'll happen sometime on Saturday.
Yep.
We'll hopefully keep you guys updated.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
Thanks for watching or listening. Until we see you again. Peace laters. Deuce. Bye. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
Shut up and sit down.